We're live. Are we live? I think we might be live. Right, I'm just gonna check something just in case. Are we live? I think we're live. I don't know. This is gonna be great. Let's just gonna check something to check if I'm live. Just to check. Just check my phone. I know it's very low budget and everything, but that's kind of what it is. Yes, we're live. And I can hear it good. Everything's good. Guys, we are on the third live stream like this. I don't want to keep myself going. No, take myself away. But anyway, yes, I am back. And hopefully everything should work fine today. Hopefully should be getting the same audio levels there as well. So that's my other camera. Hello there. And here is my camera that I usually use for doing live streams, doing film reviews. And this is a camera going to be used to get, hopefully, well, it's not a camera, but to get other things up today. It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. But anyway, today is my third live stream of I Have a Lot to Say. And today's going to be a really quick one, but I'm going to try and get about 4 topics in, which is going to be quite interesting to do, and hopefully I'll get to do them as quickly as possible. But yes, without further ado, let's get into what this is all about, first of all. So if you're new to all this and everything, you don't really know what this is all about, essentially. Basically, once a week, probably on Wednesdays, I like to do a live stream talking about current film and TV topics, or just news that's going on in general. Like today, I'm talking about some Godzilla v Kong news, but, you know, next week I might be talking about, I don't know, some Star Wars news or something like that. So, like, once a week, I like to talk about film and TV topics and things that are going on in the world right now. So this week, I'm talking about Zack's Justice League, which only came out on Thursday. At the same time, now I'm talking about Godzilla v Kong, which I'm pretty sure is coming out sometime next week, although I won't get to see it till May, because I'm not going to watch Godzilla v Kong on a TV screen, by the way. No. As I say, I'm also talking about the Kingsman being delayed. One of my anticipated movies for this year. I'm also talking about why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. So there's a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to get into it pretty quickly. But if you don't know already, this is essentially non-film reviews. Because in the week, I like doing film reviews. I always like doing film reviews in the week. But on these Wednesdays, I like doing live streams and talking about things, just current movie news and topics in general in movie and TV right now. So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about Zack's Justice League, I'm talking about Kingsman, the Kingsman being delayed, the Kingsman prequel. I'm also talking about the early action for Godzilla v Kong, and as well as that, I'm talking about why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. I don't prefer all DC over Marvel movies, by the way, and also Marvel movies I prefer over DC movies, which I'm going to get onto, but for the most part, why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. So, without further ado, I'm not going to hold back today. I'm going to get straight into my first topic. But, one last thing before I get into my first topic. If you want a live question sent in today, and you want it answered as well, please do put it in the live chat down below. And if you have any ideas of what we want to talk about next week, please put on the live chat as well below. Please, just if you want me to talk about, I don't know, something like Bond next week, or something related about another movie that I haven't really talked about on this channel. Or maybe you just want me to talk about something else entirely different. If you want me to talk about anything next week, please do put in the live chat. And if you have any questions as well, please do put in the live chat below, and I'll hopefully answer them. So without further ado, let's get into my first topic today. By the way, sorry if you get any interference. I do live next to a main road, and there's lots of bikes and tractors and stuff going up and down it. But without further ado, let's get into my first topic today. So my first topic today is just some small thoughts for Zack's Justice League. I'm not going to talk about this much, but just a couple of things that I thought were really good about the movie that I didn't talk about in my review. I think the funny thing is, I went back and watched Zack's Justice League for a second time, and I loved it even more. It's such a fantastic movie. It's so much better than the 2017 theatrical cut. Because the funny thing was, I think it was ITV2 on Saturday night. I was in between of watching, you know, Zack's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, for my second time. I was in between of doing that. I paused it. I remember that night, I switched on ITV2 and the 2017 theatrical cut Justice League was on. And I just watched it. It was just like the whole second move fire at the end. And it's just terrible. It's just terrible in the 2017 theatrical cut. I forgot how bad it was. I only saw that movie. I've seen that movie twice, actually, the 2017 theatrical cut. I saw it in the cinema for the first time, and I just thought it was bad. I didn't hate it, I just thought it was bad. But then I saw it the second time, I just thought, wow, this is terrible. And I really wanted to, I talked about this in my Zack Snyder's Justice League review, but I really wanted the Snyder Cut for a long time. And we finally got it, and it was so good. Like, really good. And I went back and rewatched the 2017 theatrical cut, the whole third act of it anyway. And first of all, Amy Adams looks completely different. She clearly tells she's gone on a reshoot, you know, born to play Lois Lane. And at the same time, though, it's just all over the place. I mean, the mustache thing, obviously, with Henry Cavill Superman, and it's just things like that. I'm just going to open the curtain a bit there. Ooh, get a bit more light going in there. Ooh, just to make sure. Yeah, but it's just things like that, which just made me think, what the hell went on with Justice League? They didn't need to reshoot as much as they did. Like, the film was there. Zack Snyder shot about, what was it, a good film, in my opinion. He shot like a full film. Maybe he hadn't finished all the visual effects, but they made a full film. And in the end, I don't think it's Joss Whedon's fault as much as it's Warner Bros. Fault. I mean, Joss Whedon obviously had a lot more comedy in there, which didn't need to be there, and didn't really gel with Zack Snyder's style. But at the same time, though, they didn't really need to reshoot so much of the film. They didn't really need to reshoot so much, and because Zack Snyder had made a film, and then I was watching the 2022 theatrical cut on ITV2 on Saturday night, and just thinking to myself, this is awful. This is completely different than, not in a good way, it's completely different than Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I was watching at the time. And I remember, the day after, on Sunday, I watched the third act, the big fight with Steppenwolf and the Justice League, is Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it was so much better. Honestly, it was just great. You got a solid score. The Flash was actually had some significance in the end of things. Like, one of my things that I absolutely love about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and again, spoilers here if you don't want to know what happens in it, if you haven't seen, spoilers. One of the things I absolutely loved about the third act of the film is the fact that the Justice League all die at one stage, but the Flash manages to save the day. That is so unique about that film. That is so unique about the film. The fact that the Flash saved the day. In the theatrical cut, he's just helping some people in the town who are trying to get out from Steppenwolf, and it's just crap. It's just shit. It's shit. It is completely utter shit. The theatrical cut of Justice League, and I think the Zack Snyder version is 10 times better. In my opinion, the only version of Justice League is Zack Snyder's version. That is incredible, and I do hope they continue on with the story, although I sadly think they will. But, some of the thoughts about it, I love the scene with the Joker. I love the whole dialogue with the Joker, when he says to the Batman, you're like, oh, you sent a boy wonder to do a man's job, and then you get a vision of Jared Leto's Joker, and it's like, whoa, and even so, yeah, that seems a bit unnecessary, and probably will never be followed up, although I do hope we see Jared Leto's Joker, I do hope we see Jared Leto's Joker, like that in another DC movie. Hopefully, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad coming out this August, hopefully we'll get to see his version of the Joker again, some part in the DC franchise. Because actually, I didn't like his Joker at all in Suicide Squad, but I really liked his Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I thought it was great. At the same time, though, I loved the moment where the artist decided to get Superman back, and you just have all the characters going around with like, I'm not going to say it, well, one of us is going to say it, we'll have to say it, one of us is going to say it, okay, let's just say it, we all thinking it right now, and then you get like a little electronic vision of Superman. It's a great moment and everything, and you have the Man of Steel score going in the background, ooh, and then it's great, that moment. At the same time, I love the way the mother boxes are separated in the film, and I've got some notes down here. I'm going to see what else I said. The use of Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner. Yeah, oh wow, I mean, that was fantastic, when Superman finally puts his black suit on, and you just get Russell Crowe's voice going in the background, because that was his, biological father on Krypton in Man of Steel, and you have Kevin Costner's voice as well, who is, his stepfather in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman as well, and you hear their voice in the background. It's just like, wow, just small details like that made the film so much better than, the 2018 theatrical cut, which is just terrible in my opinion. Just small details like that, where you have just this Russell Crowe and, Kevin Costner's voice in the background when Henry Cavill Superman is getting back into his costume. You're just going like, yes, this is a movie I wanted. And just things like that, and the way every character is used, the whole thing with Cyborg is 10 times better. They fully explain the mother boxes, they fully explain Steppenwolf in the film. Honestly, the Zack Snyder's Justice League is so much better than the theatrical cut, and if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's such a better movie. I saw the theatrical, I didn't see the full theatrical cut, I'm not going to ever see that again probably, but I saw the last half of the theatrical cut on Saturday night on ITV2, and boy oh boy is it terrible. Check out Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's a foreign movie, but you know what? It's a whole big experience. And one more thing I'm going to say about it, it's like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. It's like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Justice League. The way it is, it's like a Lord of the Rings Justice League. It's a Justice League film you want. That's what it is. It is, and obviously, I absolutely love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Go and check it out, and also some of my spoiler thoughts on it. Anyway, let's continue on to the next topic today. My next topic today, what time am I on this? Oh, I'm doing good for time. My next topic today is the Kingsman, if you don't know already, or if you don't know already, the Kingsman prequel, being delayed to Christmas this year. Now, for many people, this wouldn't be a big topic. For many people, the Kingsman franchise, some people don't even really know what it is. I remember when Kingsman 2 was coming out, and I remember I was in school at the time, and I remember I asked someone, do you know about Kingsman the Golden Circle coming out? And I'm like, I didn't even know that Kingsman's a franchise. But personally for me, though, I love it. I love Kingsman the Secret Service. I think Kingsman the Secret Service is, in my opinion, a damn good movie. Like, it plays with the spy genre very well. Like, it has a kind of pastiche side to it. It makes one of the Bond films, but not in, not in kind of a sarcastic way. It makes one of them in a good way, like a pastiche way. At the same time, though, it does have that serious aspect to it. I really love the first one. And you know what? I even enjoyed the second one. I had Elton John doing ninja kicks in them. I enjoyed the second one. Even though the second one is, pants compared to the first one, it's not bad in my opinion. I do like the Kingsman franchise quite a lot. So one of the things I'm actually quite annoyed about is the fact that the Kingsman prequel, starring Ray Fiennes, it's got loads of other people in it. It's got Jennifer Aniston's in there, Daniel Bruhl's in there, it's got Charles Dance is in there, I'm pretty sure as well. It's got and Tom Holland is in there. It's got a huge cast. It's a new Kingsman movie, but it keeps getting pushed back. The Kingsman was meant to come out in February this year. And I was really, really excited to see the Kingsman in February. Honestly, I really was. And then it got pushed back to August this year. And I was getting really excited to see it in August. Now Christmas. I mean, we're not even halfway through the year. I've got to wait till Christmas to go and watch the Kingsman. And by the way, it's doing this whole like Disney Plus thing, which a lot of Disney movies are doing, where it's going to be released simultaneously on Disney Plus and on theatres. On theatres? In theatres. So Disney Plus and theatres. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to pay for it on Disney Plus. But I really want to see it, and I'm excited to feel like I do with No Time to Die. Like, I'm not excited for No Time to Die before. I talked about it before on the live streams. I talked about it in my first live stream. I'm no longer excited for No Time to Die because I feel like it's already been and gone. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but it feels like it's already been gone. Just checking my computer sec. Ooh, hello on the other screen there. But yes, checking my computer screen instead. But I'm starting to feel like it did with Kingsman, when I've already kind of felt like it's been and gone. We were meant to have it in February, okay, and now we're meant to have it in August, and it's not going to come in August. Instead, in August, yeah, we're going to get James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which I'm really excited for, but we're not going to get the Kingsman. And I really want to see that film. It's got Ray Fiennes in. It looks like a really interesting prequel and everything. It's set in World War One, I'm pretty sure as well. And I love films that are set in World War One. I love that whole, text and everything. I love it. If it's logical, I love it. Like, I don't love Captain America: The First Avenger. I have a lot of big problems with that Captain America: The First Avenger, which is set in World War One. I have a lot of big problems with the logic of that film. Like, there's a whole thing with Captain America: The First Avenger. I'm going off topic here a bit, but there's a whole thing with Captain America: The First Avenger, where the bad guy, Red Skull, played by Hugo Weaving in the film, the big bad guy in the film, he uses all these like space-based weapons and everything to kill Captain America, to try and kill Captain America, I think. And then they don't use all those space-based weapons to actually win the war. It doesn't make any sense. It's just logic problems like that in, Captain America: The First Avenger make me not like that film that much, I must admit. But, back onto the Kingsman. I'm really excited to see it. And, honestly, it's annoying that it's being delayed. Again, like, it was meant to come out in February, like I said. It was meant to come out on Valentine's Day, I'm pretty sure, in February. But then they pushed it back. Was it meant to come out in February? Yeah, they pushed it back. It was meant to come out. No, it was meant to come out in September last year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they pushed it back even more. Wow. Because it was meant to come out in September of last year. September 2020 was meant to come out. Okay, obviously the pandemic was going on. But then it was meant to come out in February. Okay, pandemic. But then they could have come out in August. There are films coming out in August. There are films coming out soon. Quiet Place 2 is coming out in May. Godzilla coming out next week. We've always got a Cruella that's coming out soon. And, Black Widow, I'm going to talk about that very, very shortly. Black Widow is also being pushed back as well. And now, the Kingsman. And I know for many people, the Kingsman might not be a big, important movie. But for me, it's... Pardon me, but for me, I just get really excited about a Kingsman movie. How many times do you get to see them? I love the action in the Kingsman movie. I don't really love action sequences in films, but for me, a Kingsman movie is so fun to watch. I just loved them, and I didn't love the second one, but I still really enjoyed it, and I really want to watch the new one, and it's been pushed back again, and I'm not that happy about it. And that leads me on to just a small topic here, which is kind of like a lead on from the whole Kingsman thing, that a bunch of other movies have been pushed back as well. Like Black Widow's been pushed back to, I'm pretty sure, July the 9th, which probably means that Loki's going to be pushed forward, or the Loki TV series are either going to be pushed forward or going to be pushed back a bit more, because otherwise Loki and Black Widow will clash, and I don't think that'll happen on the same weekend. So I bet the Loki TV series ought to be pushed forward. I hope it will. I'm really looking forward to Loki, by the way. But Black Widow has also been pushed back as well. I'm not going to do this until next week. Disney Plus, which you're going to have to pay like 30 quid for on Disney Plus, which is insane in my opinion. Just wait for it a couple of months and it'll be free on Disney Plus. And then it's also going to do the theatre release as well. So things with Black Widow, I'm not really excited for that movie anyway. But I saw an image from like a couple of weeks ago. I've talked about it before. A couple of weeks ago, I saw an image from it. I was like, that movie still hasn't come out yet. Wow. But anyway, yeah, just things like that. Which, yeah, they're doing the whole simultaneous release thing and they're pushing films back. And obviously, you know, Cruella, which is going to be like the Cruella origin story, that's been pushed back as well. We're going to start Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I thought the trailer for that was actually pretty good. But at the same time, though, obviously Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. What the hell is that film about? It's one of the next Marvel projects after Black Widow, and before they turn us from Thor, Spider, and No Way Home. That's also supposed to be pushed back as well. Haven't even got a trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, but that's meant to be coming out in September. And I don't know. I don't know how I think it's going to turn out. But in my opinion, it's kind of annoying that the Kingsman has been pushed back. And that's just, again, with a bunch of other movies. Like, it's not just the Kingsman, it's Shang-Chi as well, it's Black Widow, and it's Cruella as well. And I think, I'm getting annoyed by movies getting pushed back now even further. And the thing is with the Kingsman, it feels like it's been and gone. That's my annoyance with the film now. And hopefully, I'll see you in Christmas, and hopefully it'll full and surprise me. But I don't have much hope for it, I must admit. But anyway, next move on to topic number 3. I'm on a roll today. It's only 15 minutes and 15 minutes into the stream. I'm on the roll today, and because topic number 3. Topic number 3 today on this live stream is the early reactions for Godzilla v Kong. Now, Godzilla v Kong. I am very, very excited for this film, or Godzilla vs Kong, whichever you want to refer to it as. I'm very, very excited for this film. I like the 2014 Godzilla. I thought it was a good film. Not enough Godzilla, in my opinion, in that film. Although I didn't mind that they didn't use much of him. But at the same time, though, it was a good film. I like the 2014 Godzilla. And at the same time, though, I really like Kong Skull Island. I got a real kick out of that film. And obviously, it's quite stupid. It's quite all over the place. But it's a hell of an enjoyable film. And has a proper King Kong action in there, you know, which is really, really fun to watch. And I really enjoyed Kong Skull Island, which came out in 2017. And Godzilla v Kong, not Godzilla v Kong. Godzilla v Kong hasn't come out yet. But Godzilla King of the Monsters, I think is a fine film. I must admit, when I did my review of that film, which I did not too long ago now, I was a bit on it. I don't know. It wasn't perfect in my opinion, but it's not perfect anyway. But I don't know. I did my review of it, and I think I was a bit of a high after watching the film. But then, more I think about Godzilla King of the Monsters, the more I'm not the biggest fan of it. I must admit, it's still got some really good moments in it. I don't mind parts of it, but I think Godzilla King of the Monsters is probably the weakest of the MonsterVerse movies up to this point. But all the early reactions for Godzilla vs Kong has all come out. And today I'm going to be talking about some of the early reactions. And also talking about one big spoiler at the end of this little topic about the film, which I've already heard about. Pardon me, sorry, pal. Just been having a drink of water. But anyway, there's some spoiler about the movie as well, which I already know about. So slight spoilers for Godzilla v Kong later on in this little topic. But anyway, without further ado, let's go and look at some early reactions for Godzilla vs Kong. Or Godzilla v Kong. I'm going to call it Godzilla v Kong for the sake of this video. But anyway, for the sake of the live stream, more like. So, without further ado, it's going to look a bit weird right now, but hopefully, yeah, it's ooh, look at that. But anyway, let's go on to here, and let's me do my live stream. And here are some of the early reactions for Godzilla vs Kong. So, from here we have Shannon. Godzilla vs Kong is a visual spectacle featuring jaw-dropping fight scenes between, I'm assuming that's between, the iconic titans, I can't speak today, Wingard's direction, you know, like Adam Wingard, the director of the film. Wingard's direction style is on full on display in a colourful and breathtaking fashion that also harkens back to the 80s style of cartoon. Needless to say, this film is a blast. That excites me. Hey! I absolutely hated the prior from Mike Wan, by the way. I absolutely hated the prior Godzilla movie, so I'm assuming that's Godzilla King of the Monsters. So here's the utmost praise I can give to a movie like Godzilla v Kong. It is a coherent movie with daytime fights, and I could always see what was going on. I truly mean that as a compliment. Yeah, I must admit, Godzilla King of the Monsters did have a lot of fights that took place in the dark, which weren't always the best, but you know. It was what it was. Godzilla vs Kong, way better. Oh, but from Ben Pearson, by the way. Godzilla vs Kong, way better than Godzilla King of the Monsters. All of the human stuff is still bad, but the big monster action is in this one should satisfy the people who are interested in a movie like this. Yeah, that's probably what it would be like. To be honest, I don't think in any of the monster movies so far, you know, Godzilla 2014, the guy vs Godzilla, I don't think Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters have really got any of the human stuff right. I think the only monster movie that really got the human stuff right was Peter Jackson's 2005 King Kong, which I think is a pretty damn good movie just in general. But anyway, going back onto this now. Perry Nemiroff, I think I might have pronounced the name, I'm going to apologize for the arm. As expected, and probably as it should be, the Titan fights are the best part of Godzilla vs Kong. Adam Wingard definitely has the eye to make the most of these moments. Still don't think they've nailed how to incorporate human characters, but the top-notch ensemble helps. Oh yeah, this movie has a pretty good cast, so we'll give that. Godzilla v Kong has excellent action from German literature. I've given the names, but you can see the name there. But anyway, Godzilla v Kong has excellent action and effects. The story is crazy ambitious and at times achieves some unique sci-fi coolness. I'd watch it again for that stuff, but most of the human angles are so overstuffed, illogical, and pointless. It constantly took me out of it. Oh, it's a bit of a shame. But anyway, those are the early reactions for Godzilla v Kong. And get me back onto here. Whoa, I'm back. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of mixed reactions. Obviously, the human stuff is apparently not as good, which doesn't surprise me because the human stuff in Godzilla King of the Monsters was rubbish. And Millie Bobby Brown, who, you know, everyone knows as 11 from Stranger Things, was in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and now is going to be in Godzilla vs Kong as well. And I bet the human stuff with her is still all annoying. I bet it's all pretty annoying, to be honest. The only guy who I had any interest in Godzilla King of the Monsters was Charles Dance, and I'm pretty sure that's because it was Charles Dance. But anyway, I'm still excited for Godzilla v Kong. As long as it delivers big monster action, I'll be good, to be honest. You know, in the end, it's going to be a monster film. It ain't going to be perfect. I think we can all establish that. And I think, to be honest, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I generally do. I generally think, you know, Godzilla v Kong is going to be quite a lot of fun. And I think, you know, big monster action, which I think everyone wants from the film. Yeah, they might have some stupid characters in there, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is in the end. It's a monster film. To be honest, like I said before, the only monster film I really think has accomplished the actual interesting characters was Peter Jackson's 2005 King Kong movie, which I think is actually just a genuinely good movie. I mean, obviously it's a very good monster movie as well, but I just think that's a genuinely good movie. Like, you have that emotional, you have that emotional allegiance with those characters in the film, like Jack Black, Adrian Brody, and what's it, Naomi Watts, and so on and so on. Andy Serkis is Andy Serkis, by the way, I don't know if anyone knows about the 2005 King Kong film. Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum and who played, what's his name, in Age of Ultron and Black Panther, he's been in quite a few Marvel movies now. He played King Kong. He's on a motion capture movie of King Kong in that film, and he also played the chef who was going to Skull Island with him in the 2005 King Kong film. Boy, I need to go watch that film again. It's so good. But anyway, yeah, the only movie I think really got all the human stuff right with the monster stuff is Peter Jackson's 2005 King Kong. I think that's a great movie. It's got some great characters in there, in my opinion, as well. But, you know, in the end, I don't think the current monsterverse, you know, Godzilla to Kong Skull Island, to Godzilla King of the Monsters, has really got any of the character stuff right. And to be honest, it doesn't surprise me that Godzilla vs Kong hasn't. But, saying that though, some of the action sequences are apparently really enjoyable in the film, and some really fun action sequences are really fun to watch. And I hope I will enjoy it. I hope I will. Because that is actually one of the movies I'm looking forward to this year. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's almost been 50 years, maybe even 60. Is it 60? Yeah, it's almost going to be 6 years since we had a King Kong vs Godzilla movie. And by the way, I'm going to get around to reviewing that King Kong vs Godzilla maybe next week on this channel. But it's almost been 60 years since we got the original one, which is kind of shocking. And to be honest, I'm really excited to see what this new one's like. How many times we get to see Godzilla v Kong on a big screen. And also, one last thing about this film that I've already know about. It's spoilers if you don't know anything about Godzilla v Kong, but it isn't like Marvel or Star Wars or DC or anything. Just some slight spoilers if you don't know anything about the film. Mechagodzilla's in it. The director Adam Wingard confirmed that Mechagodzilla is a big villain of Godzilla vs Kong. They're going to do the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice thing, where in Batman v Superman, where, you know, Batman v Superman team up with Wonder Woman, and they ultimately fight the big bad guy that Lex Luthor created in Batman v Superman. They're going to do that in this film, and it's Godzilla and Kong are going to team up, and they're going to fight Mechagodzilla, which in my opinion is really exciting. I really like that. I haven't seen Mechagodzilla on the big screen for a long time now, and hopefully it pull out the bag, and it's really fun to watch. And hopefully that's how I feel about Godzilla v Kong. Yeah, so those are the early reactions for Godzilla v Kong, and hopefully I'm going to really enjoy it. But you never know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll come out of that cinema thinking, that was utter shit. Or maybe I'll come out of thinking, yeah, it was fine. Or maybe I'll come out of that cinema on probably May the 17th when cinemas open again in this country where I am right now, and hopefully I'll be like, oh, what a movie. But until then, we'll have to wait and see. And that was topic number 3. So topic number 3 today was my early access for Godzilla v Kong, and a little spoiler thing from it as well, which I've already heard about, which has been confirmed. But the fact that Mechagodzilla, by the way, is going to be in it, really excites me. Anyway, let's have a look at my other screen for a sec. Ooh, this is my other screen that I'm using today. This is a screen, by the way, I've used on a lot of live streams in the past when I've done like a live movie reaction and everything. And I might do another one of them soon. I don't know. I am actually on my Easter break right now, so I might do another one of them soon. But until then, let's continue with the live stream today. So next thing today is going to be I'm doing good on the views today. By the way, I should say, if you want any live questions sent in, a live question answered, more like I should say, a live question answered in this live stream today, please you put in the comment section below and put in your question in the live stream below, and I'll answer them as best as I can, hopefully. And if you want me to talk about anything in particular today, please do put down. Today. Next week, if you want me to talk about anything in particular next week, anything to do movie news or whatever, or some movie topics or something like that, please you put in the live chat below and let me know. But anyway, yeah, you get the point. If you want anything answered in this live stream, or you want me to talk about something in particular next week, please do put in the live chat below and let me know. But anyway, let's continue on with my fourth and final topic today. And my fourth and final topic today is why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. Now, to be honest, I'm not going to go in much detail on this one, because I don't really have much to say about it, I must admit. But there are some big reasons, I will say that. Marvel movies are fine in my opinion. I don't hate any Marvel movies. Actually, to be honest, okay, with the exception of Thor: The Dark World and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and to be honest, Iron Man 2 as well. I don't really hate any other Marvel movies like that. In fact, I actually kind of like some Marvel movies. Like I've talked about this before in my, 5 big reasons why I don't really like Marvel movies, which was like a 42-minute video, by the way. But I talked about it in that video where I said I actually kind of like the first Iron Man, that's by John Favreau. I kind of enjoy Ant-Man. Ant-Man. No, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't enjoy that movie at all. But I kind of enjoy the first Ant-Man. I also really like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 because those two films did something different with Marvel movies. I really unexpected. I really liked about it. I also really loved the music. Use of music of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. And at the same time, though, I really like Spider-Man Homecoming. I really like that film, and I quite enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home as well. Although I must admit, the post-credit scene in Spider-Man Far From Home, the whole scroll stuff, kind of put me off that film. I must admit, but for the most part, I've actually enjoyed. For the most part, not for the most part, but I have enjoyed some Marvel movies. But some of the ones I don't really like, and I must admit, the majority of the DC movies I've seen, I actually quite enjoy. And by the way, I'm talking about the current DC universe, not the Dark Knight trilogy. Although I think those films are absolutely fantastic. Not the Dark Knight trilogy. That's not part of this DC universe. This current DC universe with Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Jason Momoa's Aquaman is such a good part of this universe. Ezra Fashion, so on and so on and so on. I'm talking about this current DC universe. From Man of Steel onwards to what was the last movie that came out, Wonder Woman 1984. And I still haven't seen that movie, by the way. But anyway, basically, this is why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. First of all, I should say, I don't love every DC movie. I should say that just before I talk about why I love, not why I love DC movies, but why I prefer them over Marvel movies. I should say, I didn't like Suicide Squad at all. I thought that was a bad movie, just all over the place, generally messy, and some bad performance in the movie as well. And at the same time, though, I didn't like the 2017 theatrical cut of Justice League. I'm not going to get into that again. I think that's a terrible movie. And I think Man of Steel is fine. I don't dislike Man of Steel. I actually think it has some perks going for it. But I think the third act of Man of Steel, the final part of Man of Steel, is just, big, generic, stereotypical superhero action with Superman crashing into buildings and trying to kill, the villain of that film, Zod, played by Michael Shannon. And at the same time, though, I don't hate Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. But at the same time, though, I don't really like it either. And I think that film has some big problems, again, particularly in the third act of that film. But with quite a lot of DC movies, I've actually really enjoyed them. Like, I really enjoyed the Patty Jenkins 2017 Wonder Woman film. I really enjoyed Aquaman. I thought it was a very stupid film, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Shazam. I thought it was a really fun film. I kind of felt like a bit of a 80s style film, so like big and Ferris Bueller, kind of a bit of a feel to that, but at the same time, kind of a super film feel to it, which I thought worked really well. I enjoyed Birds of Prey quite a lot. I know a lot of people are going against that movie, but I enjoyed it quite a lot. And there's another one I'm forgetting. Joker doesn't count. Joker's not part of this DC universe. I think Joker's a great film, but that's not part of this DC universe. I haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984, so I couldn't say. Am I thinking of another one? Oh, of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League as well. But again, I don't know how much that's canon with the current DC universe. And I'm really looking forward to James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which will come out in August. But this is why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. They're more enjoyable, and that's what I like about them. Like, the thing is, the DC movies, in my opinion, you can clearly tell that they're not trying to be anything better than a really good comic movie or a really good superhero movie. That's how I feel about them. Like, when I was watching Aquaman, I wasn't thinking, this isn't trying to be, a next level thriller or a next level, I don't know, comedy or anything. It's just trying to be fun and a bit of comic book action in there, and a bit of superhero fun in there, and that's kind of what I liked about Aquaman. But my problem with, like, say, I don't know, the Thor films I don't really know what they're going for, and then they have an over-reliance of comedy in some cases. Like, one of my big problems with Thor Ragnarok, a film which I admire Taika Waititi's, directional style in that film, a film which I admire, it has way too much comedy in that film, way too much comedy in Thor Ragnarok, which just maybe did not like it as much as I wanted to at all. At the same time, though, I don't really like the first two Thor movies. I think they suffer. One second, I'll close the curtain a bit because I've got an overabundance of light right now. But anyway, yes, I find DC movies a bit more enjoyable than Marvel movies, because I always feel like Marvel movies, like say the Captain America trilogy, they're trying to be these big spy action thrillers, and I don't think they succeed as much as they should, to be honest. Personally, for me anyway. Like when I watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I just want to have a bit of an enjoyable fun. I don't want to sit there for God knows how long the film is and just try and the film. The problem with Captain America: The Winter Soldier is it feels like it's trying to be this big, exciting action and spy thriller. I just don't think it succeeds in doing that. But then if you look at something like 2017 Wonder Woman, I think that it just succeeds in being a really fun comic book movie. Pardon me, by the way. I think it succeeds in being a really fun comic book movie, and that's why I think DC movies succeed. Pardon me again, by the way, but that's why I think some DC movies, succeed over some Marvel movies. They're really enjoyable to watch, and that's what I like about it. The thing with DC movies, you can clearly tell they're not going to be anything better than a superhero movie. With a Marvel movie, I always feel like they're trying to be something more than a comic book movie, which they shouldn't be. In the end, these things aren't that logical, and I feel DC takes that account. Like, there's a whole thing with Aquaman, where it is just completely and utterly silly, and the last stage of the film, I'm sorry, what? But it's enjoyable. That's what I took from Aquaman. I really did, and that's kind of how I feel about DC movies. When I watched Shazam, I didn't think that was, again, trying to be anything particularly special. Although saying that, though, I do think Shazam is generally a good movie, but I didn't really think it was anything. I didn't really think it was trying to be anything more than just a really fun comic book movie, and that's why I think it succeeds. When you look at something like, when you look at Marvel films, and you look at something like, I don't know, Iron Man 3, which is going to be really clever, or the Captain America trilogy, or, just Avengers films in general, it also feels like they're trying to be a bit more than a comic book movie, a bit more than a superhero movie, and I don't feel they succeed in doing that. I think DC movies just succeed in being a bit more enjoyable. At the same time, though, the directional distinctiveness. Your thing is with DC films, whether you like them or not, you can clearly tell they're done from different directors. Like, whether you like Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice or not, or whether you like Man of Steel or not, or whether you like, Zack Snyder's Justice League or not, you can clearly tell that they're all directed by Zack Snyder. I mean, obviously, Zack Snyder's Justice League is called Zack Snyder's Justice League, but you can clearly tell those films are all directed by you can clearly tell that those films are all directed by Zack Snyder. Yes, maybe not in the best way, maybe not in that much of a good way, but you can clearly tell they're all directed by Zack Snyder, and that's kind of what I like about them. They have that directional distinction with those films. Like, okay, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, they're all Zack Snyder's films. Then, 2071 comes across. You can clearly tell it's a Patty Jenkins film. It has a different feel to those Zack Snyder films. It's more fun, it's more energetic, it has a style to it, and I think it's really fun to watch, and you can clearly tell it's a Patty Jenkins film. Then comes along Aquaman in 2018. Clearly tell that's a James Wan film. And then you come along with Birds of Prey in 2020. Kathy Yan, that's the director of the film, she added her own twist to that film, and I kind of liked that about it. Yes, you like the whole thing with Birds of Prey is you can clearly tell that's done by a different person who directed Shazam. Like, Shazam is directed by David F. Sonnenberg. I might got his name wrong there, but you can clearly tell that a different person directed Shazam and Birds of Prey, and that's what I like about it. But then my issue with the Marvel movies is if you threw, I don't know, Thor and Captain Marvel at me, it'd be hard to tell who died if they were done by different directors. Or say, okay, even a better example here, Avengers Age of Ultron or Avengers Infinity War. If you threw both movies at me and said they were done by two different directors, I was like, okay, prove me wrong. Prove to me that these two films were done by different directors. And I think you would actually find quite a lot of difficulty doing so. I mean, I'm not having a go at Marvel movies. Like, the Avengers movies, in my opinion, particularly the last two Avengers movies, balance the characters well. But there isn't enough directional distinctiveness in those films. And also, they're having a bit too much fun in Avengers Endgame. When half the universe doesn't exist, they're having a bit too much fun just lying about thinking, how are we going to get everyone back? They're having a bit too much fun in that film. And there isn't enough directional distinctiveness in those films, in my opinion. Like, yes, there is directional distinctiveness in some Marvel movies, like Thor Ragnarok, but then Thor Ragnarok has way too much comedy in that film. That's one of my biggest issues with that film. Or take a look at Doctor Strange, where the comedy again ruins it. good idea for a film, well directed in my opinion, Doctor Strange. But then, the thing is, the comedy ruins it for me in that film. I'll say, take a look at, something like Guardians of the Galaxy, clearly James Gunn film. And I think that film worked on a number of levels, not only because it's a James Gunn film, but because it has, fun moments in there, and it's not trying to be anything more than just a good comic book movie. Hence why I like, Guardians of the Galaxy so much. But then if you look at something like the Avengers films, I struggle to find any directional distinctiveness between Avengers Assemble and Avengers Endgame, I must admit. And I know that's not like the sole reason why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies, but it is one of the reasons. It is nice to go into a DC movie thinking, okay, now I'm going to get something in this movie that clearly tells me it's a James Wan movie, or Kathy Yan movie, or Patty Jenkins movie, or Zack Snyder movie. And that's kind of what I like about, David F. Sonnenberg movie. I keep forgetting David F. Sonnenberg directed Shazam. That's such an enjoyable film, by the way. But, the thing is, I like that. You can just go into one of those films, especially someone like who's a film fan, who didn't grow up reading the comics. I forgot to say, by the way, I don't have any bias connection to any of these films. I didn't grow up reading the comics. But from someone who didn't grow up reading the comics, and to be able to just go on as a film fan, I just want to watch a good film. I just experience, okay, that's clearly directed by Zack Snyder. That's clearly directed by, well, obviously I don't really know that directional stars, although saying that I do know a Zack Snyder film, because it's obviously quite dark and everything, but you can clearly tell what I'm saying, and you can clearly tell they're done by different directors. You can clearly tell that, I don't know, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is done by a different director who did Aquaman. And yes, that might not always work in its favour, but I just kind of like that about it for someone who's a film fan, someone who's a film fan. And at the same time, though, a third reason why I actually prefer DC movies over Marvel movies is the music. Now, for many people, music in, movies isn't that important. For me, I love music in movies. John Williams is incredible in my opinion. I love film music just in general. I'm a bit Hanson when he's good and everything. I like Danny Elfman when he's good. And I really like film music. So, for so many other people, film music isn't a big issue. But for me, it's really, really important in a film. And one of the things I really like about DC movies is whenever you hear a character's theme, it carries on into another film. Like Wonder Woman theme, for example. Pardon me, like Wonder Woman's theme, for example. You first hear it in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice when you finally get to see Gal Gadot in the full Wonder Woman costume, and then it's in 2017 Wonder Woman, and then it carries on into Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then it does, it carries on in Wonder Woman 1984, because I've listened to the soundtrack of the film, haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984 yet, gonna see it very, very soon, but I haven't seen it yet, and I think as though the music in that film carries on into, the music, the Wonder Woman theme carries on through all the films that Wonder Woman pops up in. And even, there's moment, and even the same, the Man of Steel film, Superman theme in Man of Steel, it's used in Man of Steel when you first see Superman, and it's used a bit in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice in the soundtrack for that film, and then again, it's used in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Literally, the moment when you hear Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel theme in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I literally went, yes, because the themes were carrying over into other films. I mean, I know there haven't been that much examples, and, but the fact is there is examples, and I think that's a good part about them. Like, one of my big issues with Marvel movies is you might watch, I don't know, the Iron Man films, and then say, okay, we have Iron Man's theme in there, but then it's not used again in the Avengers Assemble, say. Or you might watch Captain America: The First Avenger, and then his theme isn't used in, say, Captain America: Civil War, though. Or his theme isn't used in Avengers Age of Ultron. Films which Captain America is in. And that's one of my issues with that film. The fact that they have those characters' themes in there, but they don't carry on into other films. And I think the films do lack a bit with their music and everything. I think that is just a genuine criticism with Marvel movies. That I don't think they have enough music that carries on into other films. Like I said, see about DC movies, but every movie Wonder Woman pops up and you have the Wonder Woman theme in there, and I mean, I kind of like that a bit more about it. And also, I also like about the fact that, the music of the DC films is distinctive compared to Marvel music. Like, you do have a couple of distinctive themes in Marvel movies, like, the Doctor Strange theme, the Spider-Man theme, and a couple of other themes as well, obviously the Avengers theme in there. But then, if you look at the DC universe, Man of Steel theme, Wonder Woman's theme, and Shazam's theme, in my opinion, and even Aquaman's theme a bit. I kind of like the Aquaman theme, and obviously it's not that popular, but it's distinctive for me personally, and the Shazam theme is really good. It, like, takes stuff off, the John Williams Superman theme, and I think that would just work better for me. I prefer the music over, I like that they carry themes over into the films, and they have distinctive music in there. And again, for quite a lot of people, music of DC films, or music of Marvel movies, it might not be important, or music in film music in general might not be that important, but for me, it makes the films. And when you hear those themes carry on into other films where the characters appear in there, It works for me quite a lot, and that's another reason why I personally prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. And at the same time, though, to see if I've got anything down here. No, I'm pretty sure I covered everything there, and I think all in all, it just comes down to enjoyment. When I go into watch a comic book movie or a superhero movie, I just want it to be enjoyable, and I think Marvel movies try and be like a big fantastic spy thriller like the Captain America films. I'm not even sure the Thor films try and be sometimes, and then I think the films just suffer from doing them, from just suffering from trying to be something that they're not. That's what I'm saying in the end. But if you go into a DC movie, for the most part, I know I'm going to have quite a lot of fun. Well, I hope it will anyway. Sometimes it will. Like, I was hoping to have quite a lot of fun in Suicide Squad. It did not find it at all. Boy, I wanted Suicide Squad to end by by half an hour towards the end of that film. Just like, can we not have this film to end now? Because it's rubbish. But the whole thing is, with DC movies, I find so much more enjoyment in them. You can clearly tell they're not trying to be anything more than a comic book movie or a superhero movie. They're just trying to be enjoyable and fun to watch. And that's what I feel about DC movies, and that's why I kind of prefer them over Marvel movies. Sometimes Marvel movies are too much comedy happening in there, or they're trying to be too special, or trying to be too unique, and they're trying to do too much sometimes, and it doesn't work for me as well as I want it to. And I think that's one of my big issues with why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. At the same time, though, I just think the directional distinctives, I kind of like that more from someone who's just a general film fan, and I just kind of like that, you can go into a DC movie and say you can go into Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you can tell that Zack Snyder's Justice League is directed by someone who directed by someone different who directed Shazam. And again, I like that about it. At the same time, though, I like to use some music more DC films. Wonder Woman, whenever it comes in, they're like, yes! Or, this Superman Man of Steel film, and I'm like, yes! Or things like that, which just works so well in the film. I kind of just enjoy DC films a bit more. And again, I'm not being biased. I didn't go reading the comic books. I have no connection to Marvel or DC superheroes in whatsoever. I mean, I watched Christmas Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, but I've talked about it before. I don't really consider them superhero films, Christmas Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, and I prefer DC films. That's how it is in the end. And I don't think Marvel movies are bad. I just think quite a lot of them have quite a lot of perks. But ultimately, I think for me personally, DC movies are better than Marvel movies, and that's just my opinion. And so those are my 4 main topics for today. Well, in 40 minutes right now, I got through all of them pretty quick. It's been about 10 minutes on every topic. That's pretty good. Well, I think I did anyway. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I did. And so those are my 4 topics for today. So my first topic for today was, let's see if I can remember now, some spoiler thoughts for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I really liked. In my opinion, actually, Zack Snyder's Justice League is the best comic book movie I've ever seen. I really think it is. I mean, I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of comic book movies, but I think that film succeeded in everything it needed to for a comic book movie. And at the same time, though, me talking about the delay on the Kingsman, the new Kingsman prequel, which is meant to come out this year, has now been pushed back to Christmas. Come on, make that movie come out. I'm excited for it. And then we had the early reaction to Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't know how the film's going to turn out. Kind of a mixed reaction. Hopefully I go into it and really like it. But who's to say at this point? Anything can happen. We're currently in 2021 and the pandemic is still going on. But fingers crossed, I go and watch Godzilla vs. Kong in May in the cinema and I really enjoy it. And my 4th and final main topic today is why I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. I might follow that topic up, my 4th and final main topic up next week. Because I'm going to actually watch Wonder Woman 1984 this week. And I might actually could talk about that a bit more and talk about maybe why I do or don't prefer DC movies over Marvel movies. Maybe my opinion might change a bit more. But, like I said before, my reasons why I actually prefer DC movies over Marvel movies is because they're more enjoyable in my opinion. DC movies are not going to be anything more than just a superhero movie or comic book movie or just a really fun comic book movie in the end. And at the same time, though, I love the direction of distinctions in those films. And at the same time, though, I love the way music is used in DC films. And, it's not just one of those reasons which makes me like them or which makes me like, which makes me like DC movies over Marvel movies, but it's kind of all those reasons combined. And that's why I like DC movies over Marvel movies. Not all DC movies. I don't like Suicide Squad. I don't like the 2017 theatrical cut of Justice League. And at the same time, though, I don't really like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and I think Man of Steel is fine. But for the most part, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Aquaman, the 2020 Wonder Woman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, I all think I just really enjoy the films. I far more enjoyable than the Marvel movies I've seen. I mean, that's not to say I don't like some Marvel movies, like I talked about before. I enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I really like the films, actually. I enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home, and I really like Spider-Man Homecoming. I enjoy that, man. And I think Iron Man, first Iron Man is a great film. But unfortunately for me, I prefer the DC movies over Marvel movies. But hey, that's just me. And those are my 4 topics for today. And that's it for today. That's it. I've got to the live stream close now. But if you want me to talk about anything in particular next week, please do put in the live chat. Or please do put in if you're watching this on a playback, please do put in the comment section below and let me know if you want to talk about anything in particular next week. But until then, guys, thank you as always for watching. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on the video. I look forward to many more, both film and TVs, and my next live stream coming next week on this channel, coming very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, but bye for now, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed this stream, and yes, see you guys again soon, but bye for now. Bye. Gotta end the stream, yeah. Bye.